Morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
Wait, am I there?
Huh?
It is morning in Athens.
Well, this is true. It's after 12 noon. It's morning in Athens.
It's before the bartender's breakfast time.
Ay, 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 ay. How's everybody doing this morning? You good?
I see a few people who come straight here from the bar.
Yes, well, you know how it goes some days. Okay. I guess I should probably say, he's Jared, I'm Anastasia. There you go. Enough said. We have a silly thing to talk about. We need to talk about the fact that you guys are some of the most creative bartenders. I mean this seriously. Some of the world's most creative bartenders. Now that you become great creative bartenders, it's time to understand how you shape that into something that becomes, I'm going to use the word, world class. What people call classic, what people want to replicate, what you become competitors with, what you do to make it a powerful thing to be a Greek bartender in competition as a recognized global bartender. Boom.
Not just that, but also how to create new classic cocktails and how to create drinks for your bar menus and competition drinks, classic cocktails, and drinks for your bar are three very different types of drinks.
Well, no, you're getting ahead of yourself.
No, I'm just prefacing.
Oh, okay, you're prefacing.
I am
prefacing.
You see how I did that? Yeah. I talked a little about something I'm going to talk a lot about later.
Okay, you have to watch
You
out
like that?
because he'll jump over here when we should be over here. But that's okay, that's nothing new.
No.
Nothing new. Okay, so what should we talk about first? Shall we start with the basics?
Why not?
Okay, let's start with the basics. Hopefully you can see. Yes, there we go.
The foundation of every drink, every mixed drink that you make, and don't worry, if you can't see the screen that well, I'll be reading and explaining all of it. The foundation of every mixed drink comes from one place. Can you all hear me? Is this working?
Sort of up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say it again.
I seem to be cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Or is that just me?
That's just you.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
Okay, just checking. Punch is the foundation structure of every mixed drink today. I'm sure that you all know the definition of the cocktail, which was defined on the 13th of May, 1806, in the Balance and Columbian Repository of Hudson, New York. The definition of the cocktail was spirits of any kind, sugar, water, and bitters. But let's jump back to the late 1500s, to the European discovery of punch in India, when the first sailors brought it from India into Europe. The structure of that drink was spirits of any kind, sugar, water, bitters, and citrus.
Well, but spice.
So,
not always bitters, spice in general.
Well, yes.
Yeah, spice in general.
The bitter component in punch could be a tea component, could be a spice component. But the structure of the cocktail, what is a cocktail in truth? It's punch without a garnish. So in truth, every time you squeeze a twist onto your cocktail, it's punch. By strict definition, it is punch. That's why we're looking at this structure.
Well, let's break it down individually, okay?
Okay.
Because you're talking about, let's talk about the first element, the obvious one, spirits. When you're talking about new creation, you start to have to think a little beyond what do you mean by spirit. Do you mean that it's going to be gin, whiskey, vodka, tequila, whatever? Actually, you're going a little beyond that these days. You're also looking at fortifieds. Those are still spirits. There is still spirit in that wine. You can look at a cocktail. If you look at what's happening in the world these days, people are looking for some lower proof drinks. So your base spirit could be a vermouth, it could be a sherry, it could be a port, or the other silly one of the latest run of insanity, beer. Why not? It's still spirit. So don't look at spirit as this little tiny box just because it has an ABV above 25.
Because what is really meant in that description is not distilled spirit in particular, but just the alcohol component.
Yeah. Ooh, that's nice.
Now, when you're working with... Oh, come on.
Up.
When you're working with the alcohol component, I know that you guys are all well-versed by now in infusion and in fat washing, and you're starting to grasp that it's not just cool, but sometimes it can taste good, other times it can taste bad, and I'm starting to see a lot of recognition of this now, that bacon fat washing does not actually make a good tasting drink.
It makes good bacon.
It's a novelty, but working with pistachios or pecans, that can be a much better flavor if you roast them first. And what we're going to be talking a lot about is the deeper understanding of each ingredient you work with. Every ingredient you touch has unlimited possibilities of modification, even and especially the spirit. You have heard master blenders speak to you about their job blending spirits. The blending doesn't have to stop in Scotland or in the Caribbean. If you want a particular flavor, blend a couple of different gins.
Or in Germany, they blend a few different rums, not by actually mixing the rums together, but by layering the experience. So let's say if you were to have a Bermuda Club cocktail. I had one where it starts with a very light, almost a Dominican Republic, Puerto Rican rum. It moved up a little bit with a little bit of golden rum. And then just because people don't necessarily recognize rum unless they smell that heavy, molassesy Jamaican aroma, float just a little bit on the top. It was amazing because you got all the recognition by smelling the drink, and then by tasting it, the blending came together. So you don't even have to worry, well, what's the economy of making a specific blend of rums to make one drink on your menu? You can do this by building it up and making it happen.
On the other hand, we know of a number of bars today who say, oh, we make our own vermouth. How do you make it? Well, I take some punte mes, I take a bit of chinar, and I add those to my house vermouth, and I bottle that. And that is my house vermouth. So remarkably simple, unique to the house, and much better at time of service than reaching for 3 or 4 bottles.
Ah, but don't forget, that started a long time ago. Harry Craddock was the first one to do that. Medium martini.
Yes, Harry Craddock of the Savoy was
in the 1930s.
Blending his own and pre-bottling it to speed up service.
Yeah. So there is a bit of that sort of decision-making you can open up your mind to do now that 20 years ago we were never thinking about because we were still in baby steps trying to decide what a cocktail is. Now that we know what a cocktail is, now the question is, how do you make it that extra touch personal? And how do you make it that extra touch better? Yes.
A quick note to those of you who enjoy working with oak. It's very easy today to find oak chips and to put those in a bottle. Have any of you worked with oak chips?
Anybody with oak chips?
Does anybody
oak barrels?
Feel like raising their hand today for any reason at all? But there's something that you should understand about oak chips is because they're cut across the grain, it releases a bitterness from the wood. Much better to work with pieces of oak cut lengthwise. You are not breaking the lignin, the fiber in the wood, and thus you're not releasing this bitterness. and you get actually a completely different flavor from pieces of oak cut lengthwise than cut across.
We have to hurry. We've only been on 2 slides.
Okay,
There
cool.
we go. Thank you.
But that was a fun one.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was his big lecture of the morning so far. Anyway, sour. Sour is not necessarily sour. The concept of sour is to introduce something that has citrus or has fruit or has some sort of a fresh component to it. I mean, that can even happen if you have lighter wine. Aha, here's another crazy
Vinegar.
one. Well, no, we haven't.
Balsamic is also
Balsamic
sour.
vinegar is another one to use. You use enough of an acidic white wine, and that gives you your sour. You do not have to just say, oh, it has to be lemon, lime, grapefruit. That's crazy. There's no reason to look that narrow. Open it up. Same thing with sugar. What?
I had another word about that one.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yes.
We're going to be in trouble already.
I know you have all been taught for years how to flame a twist.
Uh-oh.
This
I'm
is
leaving.
such a simple thing, to flame a twist over a drink. It does give it a different flavor when you ignite the citrus oils, when you squeeze across a flame. That caramelizes the oils. It gives a little bit of smoke, a little bit of caramel, along with that fresh citrus flavor. And then every bartender on earth makes the same mistake. And I've been doing this myself for years to avoid making the mistake, and I hadn't been teaching it. And so I apologize that I have not taught this before. But when you flame a twist, whether you use a lighter or a match, you're warming that twist and warming, and then ignite. And then you drop it in. Taste this thing. Taste it. You must taste everything that goes into your drink. This, if it's going into your drink, you have held it over a flame. It has built up a carbon layer on it.
A little bit of sulfur.
Lick it.
Touch of butane.
Tastes horrible. So after I did that, I never dropped one in. Whenever I flamed a twist, I always did that. I always had a second twist just sitting there. So flame, drop, and throw this twist that gave all its good flavor away.
Oh, you almost forgot the other experiment if you're going to start that one. You always think that you're supposed to take the twist it over the drink, rub it around the rim, and then dunk it into the drink.
There is a great reason to run a twist around the rim of a glass. If you want to put an intense bitter flavor onto the front of someone's tongue and onto their lips as they taste your drink, run that twist around the glass, because that is what it's doing. It's a completely different flavor than squeezing the twist over the top.
Yeah.
You squeeze the twist over the top, it's sweet, light, citrus, floral. You touch that twist to the rim, and it is intense, fresh orange or lemon bitters.
But you also have to look
bitters.
at different books. And if you read carefully Harry Johnson, you can go on our website. We have free digital copies of this that you can read. It does not say do the twist over the drink and put the twist in. It says twist over the drink. That's all it says. Discard the twist. Again, one of those fascinations, little finite difference in what you see and what you read.
But there is one other trick with working with the twist, is instead of twisting over the drink at all, for yet another flavor that twist can deliver, put the twist into the shaker and shake, or put the twist into the mixing glass and stir, and it gives a release of a fresh lemon, lime, or orange bitters.
Now we're going to sugar.
Okay.
Okay.
Sugar.
Sweetening, same problem.
Yes.
It's not always sugar.
Hey, These guys have agave syrup.
Yes, they have agave
They have
syrup.
honey syrup.
They have honey syrup.
They have
There's sweetening that can
couple of
come
others.
from so many
But-
different things.